All right, with over 100 AHL games played since signing with the Canucks out of Western Michigan, national champs in 2025, by the way, he is getting into his third run at the AHL playoffs with Abbotsford this spring. He picked up his first NHL point in his first NHL game on November 23rd in a 4-3 win over the Ottawa Senators. He is Max Sasson, and he joins us here on the Canucks Insider podcast. Let's talk about Western Michigan first real quick. National champs in 2025. What was it like for you, taking in that? Because I saw a stat go by during that game that, BU's been there 25 times. Yeah. Western Michigan's been there once. For you to see them be national champions, how cool is that?
Yeah, first off, that was a really cool intro. I'd never got an intro like that, so that was awesome. But yeah, it was really special. I still got some buddies on the team, and I'm super close with the coaching staff there. So, just to see a program in Kalamazoo, I mean, if you saw our facilities and lined them up with North Dakota right now, that is changing, but with all those other top teams, you wouldn't believe it. I'm just so proud of, the city. They'd never won a national championship in any sport. I think in maybe 1960 something, they won a cross country championship. So to see pretty much the whole crowd was all from Kalamazoo. I think our coach said last night, Ferschweiler said that the city's 150,000 people. He's like, I think there were 70,000 people in St. Louis from the city. So they love their Broncos, any sport. And that's really cool. And it gives me a lot of pride.
Most definitely. What do you think the campus is like? I know you're a couple of years out from being on campus and hanging out. What do you think it's like this weekend?
I saw some videos and you could look them up yourself. They were going pretty crazy on the campus. And considering that we won a little just tournament within Michigan and the campus is going crazy. So I can't imagine being the national champions coming back, and I'm sure it'll be a full-on party for the next couple of weeks in Kalamazoo.
So when you wrapped up your NCAA career, you jumped right into Abbotsford. You played in a handful of games. You went right into playoffs.
Yeah.
To take it back a couple of years, going into that mindset, what was it like for you doing that? Coming from college hockey, you go to pro, play a couple games. I'm going to get your nose busted up in your first game out there in Abbotsford. And then you jump right into playoff games. How crazy was that going from NCAA to pro, and specifically pro playoffs?
Yeah, it was a lot different. As you said, the nose, we were cages in college. So right away, I got a taste of putting the visor back on. I think we were playing a bunch of meaningful games at Western, and then kind of just didn't flip a switch and just went right back into it. And obviously it was good to get my first couple games before the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, everyone will tell you that that playoff series against Calgary was a full-on battle. There was no time and space out there. Two teams that hated each other, and obviously I wasn't familiar with the rivalry just coming from Michigan, but I learned about it pretty quickly. I heard, we play them in Abbotsford probably 14 times a year because it's all in division. And that was a special experience. And, we were talking before started airing that, how cool the Abbotsford playoffs are in that building. And, I think the city really, really appreciates us playing there. And I think it's great for the organization to have us there.
Yeah, I think we saw a little bit of that kind of spill over when you were playing Calgary Flames this year. A couple of guys that have kind of graduated. It seemed like that rivalry is something. It's been a lot of fun. I think to get into Abbotsford playoffs a little bit here, we've seen the way that this team has run throughout the regular season. Some crazy win streaks. When you guys get rolling, it's just so much fun to watch this Abbotsford team. I guess what I wanted to first ask you about is just that room, because a lot of you guys, you come in here a couple of years ago at the end of the season. Seems like a lot of you came in at 21, 22, and you guys have all grown up together. It feels like a little bit here. So what is it like in that room, and just what does this group of guys mean to you?
I guess I've never really thought about it like that, but yeah, you're right. There's a ton of guys from my first year, and even that whole year before with all the guys, and Chase and Arshdeep and Rats, Carlson, we've added some guys along the way, and Willannon, these guys, we formed such a special culture, I think, in Abbotsford. And, that starts with Ryan Johnson, Chase Wouters. I feel like everyone comes in and, you're just a part of the team right away.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like anyone's higher or lower than anyone else. Everyone comes in, and it's super fun to be around all those guys. And We have kind of all grown together. And I think this year you're seeing a lot of us play in the NHL as well as play some really good hockey in Abbotsford. I think we're all super excited. And, you don't get a chance with a team like this to, go on a playoff run. And, we're super excited, and we really feel that we can do something coming down the stretch here.
And Manny Malhotra comes in this year. I guess just from like day one throughout the whole regular season, now into the playoffs, what's it been like just having him as a coach and kind of just not necessarily adjusting what he's looking for, but almost growing your game from what he's kind of giving you as a head coach? What's he been like just this year, kind of seeing him grow as a first-year head coach?
Yeah, I was talking to some people about that I think as the year's gone on, he's just grown so much into the role, and when to harp on us and when to maybe lay back. And, he's just, we all look up to him for his playing career and just the way he is as a person. He is a big believer in treating people the right way. And, everyone walks in, his office is right there. He wants, hello, good morning. He loves that stuff. And, I think we really feed off that stuff. Just the little things of going out of his way. I see him with my girlfriend and my dad out, and he comes over and, shakes her hand. He's just a great person. And obviously he's an excellent hockey coach and an excellent player. And, it still looks like he could play.
Yeah.
He's, we've really all bought in, and we really like playing for him. And, personally, I think he's grown my game quite a bit from just, he was a defensive minded center.
Right.
And, that's something that I really want to start growing into that role of, my face-offs, my edge battles, puck positioning. And, I think he's really done a good job. I can count on a multitude of times that he brings me in his office and we'll both have sticks and we'll take face-offs against each other with no gear on. And, it's awesome. And I think, he's gave me a lot of good tips, and we all have nothing but respect. And, we really believe that he's a great coach for us.
That's awesome. I think Canucks fans obviously know about Manny and his face-off. I think that's what everybody wants to know. Like, when you're in practice with this guy, how often do you like to hear that story about you guys just in the office? Is cool. What I found interesting about Manny, and it's something that we see up at the NHL level too, it seems like hard work needs to be fun. That's the thing that we've heard from Manny. We've heard from Rick Tocchet. And something that we learned from Manny a little bit as well when he did the episode was like, he's still doing conditioning with you guys. I see him going back and forth and keeping up with you guys at the end of practice. We see him there for the early morning workouts as well. How has he kind of set that culture? Is he the main guy who's really set it out of like making hard work fun for you guys out there in Abbotsford?
Yeah, I think I'd give credit to Chase Wouters too. But I think he, from day one, it was never, this is a punishment. This is why we're bag skating, because you guys didn't play well. Like, whether we win, whether we lose, whether we play great or bad, like, he really believes in the conditioning aspect. And I also think it helps. All of us are skating, doing different drills at the end of practice that, maybe you don't get as much of when you're in the NHL because of the schedule. But with usually the three games a week, you can kind of mix in those days. And, as you said, it's not like we're doing it and he's, laughing at us. He's doing it right with us. And he's honestly beaten a lot of us. He still is in incredible shape. He gets to the gym probably before all of us. And then even on off days, you go in there, he's working out, he's pumping tunes. And, then at the end of every practice, he's the one dropping pucks. Usually it's an assistant coach. He's fully in it, dropping pucks for us and getting in there on the face-off. He loves hopping in, taking draws against us, and he calls getting violent in the face-off circle. So it's awesome. I've loved it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I wanted to ask too, you come in, as we talked about, when you came out of your NCAA, you jumped right in. You got to experience playoff hockey at the Abbotsford Center, which we've seen the towels get going. That crowd is such a rowdy crowd out there. What's the excitement level for you to get another experience at that here at the Abbotsford Center and see what that place can do? Because we've seen, man, the playoffs were crazy a couple of years ago, and we got to see what the fan base did. So for you to get another opportunity, what's the excitement level there?
It's extremely high. We are all so excited. We, probably a month and a half ago, we were right in the mix for hopefully getting in. And we kind of had a team meeting. I think it was after a Calgary game. And we talked about, that was something that we brought up, of how cool it is to play in front of the fans in Abbotsford, and how we think they deserve some playoff hockey at home. And yeah, that right after that, honestly, we have been on a tear. That 13 game winning streak definitely helped us. And then securing the home ice, our whole group chat was talking about it. Me and Chase Wouters are constantly harping about how cool it is, how cool it was, and how cool it will be. The fans, they are a rowdy fan base, and we can't wait for the towels to be flying. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. That was probably the coolest game I've played in, was that stepping on the ice against Bakersfield, and I just remember the towels going, Hog scores, and then we scored, and I remember going down to the knee, and it was awesome.
And we've seen this team build so much momentum kind of heading into the final part of the season, but I wanted to ask about these win streaks that you guys, I think it was 5, 8, 13 here to kind of close out the year. What's the vibe like when you guys are going a month without losing a game? Like, how much fun is it just showing up to the rink every day?
Yeah, that honestly, the vibe is obviously super high, but I think Manny does a really good job. I think that's kind of why you're seeing these kind of streaky things, because he does a really good job of, not just praising us and, oh, you guys are so good, you guys are great, where he finds things that we can still improve on. Nice. And, I think, I thought we were playing really good hockey, honestly, before this 13-game win streak, and, just keep preaching the things that he wants to see. And I think just a complete buy-in. I mean, yes, the vibes are super high, but it's not like, oh, we're the best team ever, we're never going to lose. Like, we know that how we have to win and how to win, and I think that's why you're seeing all these streaks, just because the mentality doesn't feel like we're ever super too high or too low. It feels like this is a real even keel team, and it starts with our head coach, our captain, and a lot of good leaders along the way too.
Let's talk about your captain, because I think a lot of people see him on social media. He's at every event, representing the Abbotsford Canucks. I always joke that I feel like he was born with a C on his chest. Like, he seems like he's been a captain ever since he was born. And he's done it at such a young age in the WHL and the AHL. He gets it so young. How impactful is he on the group? Just as a captain, like, if you're a captain your whole life, I feel like you just have to be like one of the best leaders. So what is Chase like to this group, right?
He's I've probably brought him up 6 times already.
Let's dive in.
He's a special person. I could tell that from the first day I met him. And I remember getting to Winnipeg, and he's the first guy to come over to me, sit with me, add me to the group chat, talk about my just doing things that you should do, but I mean, not everyone does it. And he makes you feel just a part of the group, and he has a great personality. He's a good person, and he also, if you could watch any Chase Wouters shift, we always say this, that literally it looks like he is going to battle every single shift, every single puck. It's incredible to watch. He gives his 100% and maybe more. We all say that if we had his motor, how good we'd all be, because he's incredible. And everyone, even around hockey, people have texted Bainesy, whoever, and they were all like, how is Chase Wouters the captain? Like, he's so young. But I couldn't pick a better leader that for the Abbotsford Canucks than him. Yeah.
Is there any moment that sticks out about Chase, like needing to step up and be a leader for you guys? Like, is there anything in the playoffs that kind of sticks out, or do you remember anything of him like needing to be the guy to kind of get the group going at any point?
I think he's done that quite a bit, whether he's not afraid to fight anyone. He fought Alex Canuck-Leipert, who is his like best friend the other day.
All right.
But there's so many times that you need a face off, you need someone to block a shot, you need someone to get the boys going, like however you may do it. I can't think of one specific time, but there's so many examples of him just putting his body on the line for us. And, I can't say enough good things about him. That's awesome. He's also a great friend. So I think that's a good balance he has of, he's a leader and guys respect him, but he's also a great person. And, we always go out to eat and hang out.
I feel like Manny must just love him. For Canucks fans that grew up watching Manny, that's like a very similar type of style. That
Yeah, I don't know how any coach would not love Chase Wouters. Yeah.
Let's talk about the netminders you guys have. You got Shilovs, you got Tolopilo, Ty Young, Yuri Patera's out there as well. You got 4 goaltenders. I feel like there's got to be confidence in all 4 of them out here in Abbotsford.
Yeah. Obviously everyone knows Artie, and everyone has confidence in him after, what he's done in playoffs here, World Juniors. What did he play in the World Championships? World Championships. That's what I was talking about.
He's got statues of himself out there now.
Yeah. Obviously everyone, and then Tolo, massive goalie. Really funny guy too. Is probably the loosest goalie I've seen before a game. Just super calm and plays soccer with us before the game, laughing, and then he goes in there and makes 40 saves. Ty Young, I honestly didn't know much about him, and he came up and had some just incredible performances. He's a great guy and super calm in the net. And then Yuri, unfortunately he got hurt, but he was playing really well for us too. It's really incredible how many good goalies that are throughout the organization, and it's impressive.
For guys like yourself, you got Linus, you got Jonathan Lecaramaki as well, Ty Mueller, Ati Ratti, Victor Mancini. These are all guys, including yourself, playing NHL games here to wrap up the season. I'm wondering what that does when you go back to the AHL. Is it a difficult switch, or is it something for your Like, I'm just curious from your point of view. You come up here, you play NHL games. In the back of your mind, you're like, I'm back to Abbey for playoff hockey in Abbotsford. So, like, what does this NHL stint kind of do for you at the end of the season?
Obviously it gives you confidence when you're playing in the NHL. But I think a big thing for us will be coming back and all getting on the same page and getting our chemistry, because it'll be a lot different team when we all come back. Obviously it helps with the confidence, but it is a slightly different game going. And obviously most of us, our roles in the AHL are a lot different than our roles in the NHL. So just getting back and playing, that's the big thing that I think we're all striving for, is to not switch our games when you go up or you go down, to try to be as consistent as possible in what you're good at. And usually what you're good at in the AHL can translate to what you will be here. So I think we're all gonna go back, and I think we're all gonna be super excited, and we're going to compete. I can tell you that for sure. And I know we were all just talking about it actually like 20 minutes before this, that how fun and how cool it'd be to make a run and win this thing.
And I know it's something that you kind of started with when you first went pro. I know there could have been some options for you to go play NHL games, whether it was with another organization, but you wanted to develop in the AHL. You wanted to work on your game. And I know RJ played a big part in that as well. So I guess just your thoughts on your development that you've been able to achieve as a pro in the AHL. You make your NHL debut this year, which we'll get to in just a second, but I just wanted to ask, it's a developmental league in the AHL, and you've been a good example of that. You've grown your game. How have you kind of done that over the past couple of years in the AHL, and what has the AHL really helped you kind of do that?
Yeah. I guess I could have played some NHL games in some places, but, as we talked about those meaningful playoff games, I think for me going into that next year, it's such a step ahead. Just playing in those, some of the most tight checking games I've probably ever played in.
Right.
No space, and everyone hated each other. So, I think also playing that first NHL game, it meant so much, because I think when you come from college and you just get that first game, maybe in a game that doesn't have any really implications on playoffs or anything. For me, like that game in Ottawa was so special, because it felt like I had worked for my whole life, obviously, but I'd put pretty much a year and a half to 2 years in the AHL, and to finally get that call, I honestly was tearing up. But the AHL, it's helped me develop my game, because there is zero time and space. They're every single guy is, right there from going to I know I don't want to talk about salaries, but from going with 70,000, I don't know if people know this,
Yeah.
to go from 70,000 to 775,000.
Right.
And so there's no, and everyone wants to get to the NHL. So there's no shifts off. No one has a 7-year deal. No one's taking a game off here and there. Everyone is competing, and they want to show that they can help the big club. So I think just that mentality of every shift matters really has helped my game.
And to get back to the debut a little bit here, like you said, you build up for it a couple of years, then you get here and you get that opportunity. And I know, like, you mentioned the first person you called was your dad.
Yeah.
And I think your dad was the first guy to fist pump one of your goals as well. So the big celebration. And I remember watching you in the post game. You're watching the video of your dad celebrating, you're just losing it. So, like, what was it like after the game? Like, when you got to go see all the family that made it up to Ottawa and you're able to just, like, I don't know, chat about your first NHL game? It's got to be so cool.
Yeah, that's a day that I'll never forget. That was probably the most special day, for sure, in my hockey career. Just going up and, I don't think he knew I even saw the video yet, but, seeing that and being on the hockey night in Canada and wearing the towel and seeing my dad, how proud he is of his son, was super special. And then, obviously seeing my mom, my brother, my aunt, my girlfriend, like, it was just so special. I just remember walking up and how excited they all were, and how proud I made them. And, that was a really cool, special evening. And, like I said, though, my dad he was going crazy there, but I'm telling you could go to the Abbotsford playoff games. And if I whoever scores, honestly, he'll go nuts too. So he's a massive sports fan and obviously a massive Max Sasson fan too. So, that was really, really cool.
That's awesome. To get back to some of these guys on the Abbotsford team, and I hear this, and I know you're going to talk about him as well, but I hear the smaller defensemen. They talk about Christian Wolanin and what he kind of does to just show guys how to be a pro and kind of have that leadership on the defense core. What does Woolie do to this group, and how is he such a leader for the Abbotsford team?
Well, I mean, year in, year out, he's one of the best defensemen, if not the best in the AHL. I know he's won that award, but he's probably the funniest guy in the locker room too, and he's also probably the hardest person on himself. So I think we all see, how much pride he takes in his individual game, and also, he loves some confrontation, when things aren't going well, and it's good. You need someone that's a little on edge sometimes, and he really brings people, if we're struggling or the power play is not doing well, like, he really brings everyone into the fight. And I think that's what he does such a good job of, is showing, myself included, like all the guys, how to become a consistent player. And, everyone looks up to him. And it seems like he brings it every single night. So he's a really special person and really special player.
Awesome. I think for a lot of fans that are going to head out to the Abbotsford Center, these playoffs, and especially the way I see playoff hockey going, I think a lot of them are going to say, who's this Glover kid? So Ty Glover, the way that he brings it every shift, what does that do to the group? Just like, I see you guys on the bench when he has a good shift. I'm like, man, he threw like 6 hits there. He got a shot on net. What's he like to this group? And I think a lot of Abbotsford fans are going to really like him in the playoffs.
Yeah, he can fly. That's for sure. We always say he looks like he's running on skates, but he is skating so fast.
Yeah.
And I would not want to be a defenseman going back for a puck. He really brings the energy. I actually saw, last night he had quite a fight and quite a hit on a guy in Calgary, and he brings energy every single night. He brings the energy in the locker room. He's one of my best friends. We played together at Western Michigan, and he is fun to watch when he's going, because he's a wrecking ball out there. And we call him an oak tree. So
oak tree.
Yeah, I don't know. Some announcer called him that one time, so we just started calling him that. I think the fans, watch for Ty Glover out there, because he will run around and he will hit people hard, and he's got some skill to go along with it.
Yeah, and another guy who's going to bring a lot of leadership. I mean, he's a Stanley Cup winner in Sammy Blais.
Yeah.
And the way that he's come into this group in the AHL, and I mean, he has some games too where you're like, God damn, look at this guy.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess what's your expectation for him in the playoffs? Because he's been there and done that. He knows what it's like to go on a long run in pro hockey.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. You know, how cool it was and is that he's a Stanley Cup champion, you know, over whatever, 350 games in the NHL. And he has incredible skill and poise with the puck. And also when he gets pissed, watch out because he will drill guys. Yeah, and he's a you know, he's a great human, and I would say, yeah, if we're gonna make a run, Sammy Blais is gonna have to be a big contributor, as he has been the whole year, because he is a special player and I think in the playoffs, some of that toughness and physicality, and also that, you know, knowing he's been there and done that in the NHL, I think that'll help a lot.
Manny talked about this when he was on the podcast earlier this year. He talked about like the coaches have to really set a standard for guys, especially the young guys. But he said some of the most important guys in this room are some of the veterans who are in the AHL, and they're the ones who really show the young guys how to be pros. Like, how much have you learned just from some of the guys who have been around and playing pro hockey? You know, Will Lannon's a great example of that. Blay, another example. These guys that have just played pro hockey and become pros. When you come in as a young guy, like, I'm sure there's so much you have to learn about just like feeling what it's like to be a pro. How important are some of these veteran guys on the team for the young players?
Yeah, a ton. You know, I think we're learning every day, and, you know, we're starting to learn from each other too as we kind of grow up together, as you said. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you know, I take a guy like, he's not playing right now, he's hurt, but John Stevens, for example, he takes incredible care of his body. He's always stretching. He's always doing the ice baths, the hot tubs. You know, he's always on the treatment table. You know, that guys like him and Juju, Kara, Blazer, Wooly, even going back to last year, like Matty Irwin, like these guys, you know, they've all played in the NHL and they've all played in the AHL and been very successful throughout their runs. And, you know, learning from those guys and seeing what they do on, you know, going on the ice 10 minutes early and getting, you know, those reps. And, you know, Wooly's talks about, you know, taking, you know, say you do an extra 25 a day of, you know, this shooting technique, and then over the course of a year, like how many reps are you, you know? So, you know, seeing what those guys do and how they take care of their body and the longevity definitely helps.
We've seen the Highway 1 wall that you guys have out there now.
It's really cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah, it's really cool. I think what's interesting is, like, yeah, it's a wall with pictures. It's cool, but like, we're seeing it this year. Like, how many guys have come up here and play? For you guys, what's the motivation like, knowing that Abbotsford's like a 45-minute hour with traffic, but like that drive in here is not that far for the AHL to the NHL. For all you guys that have come up and been able to play in the NHL, like, what's it like? Like, what's the motivation like on the daily in the AHL to just know that Vancouver is that close to you guys? Yeah,
I think coming into the year, you know, we all knew how many good players there were that were knocking on the door for the NHL. And the motivation, I mean, it's easy, right? Like, you see it. You know, guys come here from Abbotsford on their off days. You know, we watch the Canucks games when we're in Abbotsford, and you know, I think that's helped, honestly, all of us a lot. That you know, no one's bad mouthing anyone when they get called up. Like, everyone's excited for everyone, and everyone's also. I think that's what is special about it too, is that we're all so close and we're such good friends, even though we all know that we're competing for the same job, pretty much. So I think that's made us all so much better. And in the long run, it'll really, I think, show that, you know, me and Rats, Mules, we all are always doing face-offs after practice. We're always doing extra stuff together as centers, and knowing that we're going for the same job. But it's also, I think, just excelled all of our games. I mean, I think Bainsy and Carly and Lecky, they'll tell you the same thing, that, you know, we can all like learn from each other and get better from each other, because like going against all these guys in practice every single day, like, I mean, not many AHL teams can say that they have. We probably have the most, right? Like 11 or 10 guys, we were counting it the other day, that have played NHL games this year, and not just like one, like 10, 20, 25. So, you know, it's really special, and it says a lot about the organization, that how many guys can, you know, it seems like pretty flawlessly come from Abbotsford and play in the NHL and, you know, not miss a beat.
And I know Ryan Johnson's talked about that's his favorite part of his job, when he gets to make that call, tell one of you guys it's going up. Like, how does he kind of set, not necessarily the standard, but how does he kind of set the expectation for you guys of like, hey, if you work hard here and you do all the right things here in Abbotsford, that time's going to come. And we've seen it happen a ton this year. What has he been like for your career? Just having RJ as your GM out there in Abbotsford.
Yeah, he is. I mean, when he talks in a room, I think every single person is all in on because he just kind of has that personality, that like aura of, he commands the room. And I remember he gave a speech before playoffs a couple years ago, and I mean, everyone was like, "Let's play right now." He's been very helpful, and I think on like the human side of things, he's played and he really understands what we're going through, and maybe what's on our mind. I think he has a really good sense of when someone may be struggling or someone has thinking about why didn't I get called up. He's really good at going over and knowing maybe this guy needs to maybe I need to talk to him and tell him and I think that's a really special part about him is that he's very good at knowing when something needs to be said to a certain guy. And obviously when he called me to tell me I played my first game, that was the coolest thing ever. Obviously he loved it too. I was like, what? Yeah. He always has our backs, it feels like, and he's a good mediator to when Patrick and Jim and maybe Talk and whoever he's in Abbotsford too, and he's coming and talking to us like, hey, here's what they thought, here's where we can improve. So it's great to have him, and he does an excellent job, and I believe he will be a GM in this league one day.
Yeah, most definitely. I think what I wanted to kind of close out here with is just this Abbotsford crowd. We know how crazy they're going to be. For you guys and the players in that room, like, what do you guys want out of the Abbotsford fans in this playoffs? Like, what is something that the players would love to just have going on at the Abbotsford Center here? And what kind of energy do you need?
Wave those towels and be as loud as you can. Yeah. And we'll put on a good show for you guys. If we're going to make a run, we need the Abbotsford Center to be sold out, hopefully, and, waving those towels. And we cannot wait to play in front of you guys. I'm bitching to do it right now. So
that's awesome. I've heard about it all year talking to you guys in post game of just like, it's a hard place to play, right? Like you guys are really kind of always talking about that. It feels like after, and I'm just curious, like, how have you guys been able to just make that? I mean, it's a great thing to say, but you guys have literally made it happen. Like, it is a tough place to play when you look around the AHL. So that's kind of your expectation here in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I from guys that have came from other teams. They said that, when you walked into the Abbey Center, I know Dino Cambites was on that Bakersfield team a couple years ago, right? And he walked in and he's like, from the drop of the puck, I knew we had no chance. So you guys they make it fun, and they make it hard and loud, and we are so excited to play there and play in front of our home fans and make it a really tough place to play, because when it's loud in there and we feed off it and the other team does not. Yeah.
I mean, it's a low ceiling. Like, you got to crank it up. Every time Jet Woo throws a hit, we need to hear all these type of things. Right? So we're excited for the AHL playoffs get started here at Abbotsford, hoping for a long run and watching you guys kind of make it happen this year. You guys have grown up together. This feels like the year where you guys are going to be able to go on that deep run. So
I agree.
We're excited to get watching you guys in the playoffs here. And Max, appreciate you jumping on the pod here.
Of course.
And having some fun with us today.
Yeah. Sounds good.